Hello, my people. Hi, y'all. Hi. What's up? I'm Maka of course, Maka making it make sense, and this is technically episode 2 of season 2 of Let's Make It Make Sense. If you don't know, now you know. All right. So I got an ear infection, you guys, about 2 weeks ago, and it had me in bed for 7 days, for a week before I actually made it to the hospital. But I made it, and I'm feeling a lot better now. Okay? So, with all that being said, the topic of this specific episode is something that I've been thinking about for a little while. And I wasn't sure how I was going to deliver this message, but I think you guys will like the title. So this is called Fail Forward. And with Fail Forward, what we're going to be doing is making fear your teacher instead of your prison. And I feel like this is a good topic. I'm like, it's pushing some boundaries. It's going to make a few people uncomfortable, but some people, it might just hit right where it needs to do it. It's going to trigger you just a little bit. So here's a warning. Okay? So the theme of this episode basically is facing your fears of failure, understanding where it comes from, and learning how to move anyways. Okay? Not like after the fear is gone or it's disappeared, but while the fear still exists. And for me personally, I've made a lot of decisions in my life with that kind of mindset. Like I was failing forward. Like I was afraid. But I was going to do it anyways because I was afraid. Because it's about not allowing failure to have a control over your life. So welcome back to my podcast, you guys. Like I told you guys, I was sick, but we're back and this is what we're going to do. So today we're going to talk about something almost everyone feels, but very few people admit controls their life. And that's the fear of failure. Not just falling quickly or not just messing up once, but the deeper fear, the fear that says, what if I try and prove I'm not good enough? That fear that says, what if everyone sees me fail? Or that one that says, what if I give my all and it's just not enough for people? And here's the truth that most people don't want to say out loud. A lot of people aren't struck by their laziness. They're not stuck because of their laziness. They're stuck because they're afraid. Afraid to start, afraid to change, afraid to outgrow the version of themselves they've learned to survive as. And today, we're not just going to talk about fear. We're going to learn about how to walk with it. You know what I mean? Like, more than just letting stuff go. It's about doing it anyways. All right? So, the fear of failure isn't actually about the failure part. It's about identity. Somewhere along the way, many of us learned that success equals acceptance and mistakes equal rejection. And in this process, like maybe it was school, or maybe it was family expectations for you, or maybe it was relationships where where love felt conditional. Some failures stopped being an event and became a definition. You know what I mean? Like, okay, there's times in your life where you don't succeed at something, and it was just like that one time you failed, but you did it again, and you succeeded. But other times when you fail at something, it's just like, that's just it. I can't do it. I'm just not enough. Like it defined who you are in that moment. Instead of I failed at something, we started, like we started, to think it more of it like I am a failure. And once failure becomes like, it starts to feel personalized, the risk feels real. It's more dangerous that way. Like it's dangerous to yourself. So here's something I want you to do. Like, your brain, like, is not trying to ruin your dreams. Okay, it's trying to protect you and protect your emotional safety. You know what I mean? Like, fear is protection that overstayed its welcome. That's what we're going to say. That's how we're going to call it. So, all right. All right, let me think. Let me think of a perfect point for this one. Okay, so I'm a restate my last statement, okay? So, your brain is not trying to ruin your dreams, okay? It's trying to protect you. It's trying to protect you and your emotional safety. So a lot of people don't see it this way, but the fear that you have of failure or of certain situations in life is a form of protecting you. And that said fear has overstayed its welcome. This is the survival mode that people don't really like to talk about that they live in, but it's kind of like that. Okay? So for me, a personal example of a time that I've experienced this would honestly be when I wanted to when I first started getting on the stage and singing in front of people. I was told by so many people that I have this great voice and I'm so capable of doing this, that, and the third. But baby, let me tell you something about me and stages. Frights. I got stage fright. I'm scared. I be scared. I be petrified. Baby, every time. I still get up on stage because here, remember what I said? I be falling forward. Yeah, I still get up there and I still sing. But baby, I be scared. Super scared. Terrified. Petrified. Every time. But I do it anyways. For me, I don't know what it is I'm actually afraid of anymore. I've been on stages in front of crowded rooms, full stadiums, a bunch of people here. Like, I broadcast not just on this platform, but on other platforms to thousands of people at a time, singing, talking. I don't skip a beat. I can do it without a problem, baby. But when I'm up on that stage in front of 7 people, singing a song that holds some type of value to me, baby, I be up there shaking in my boots. I forget the words, everything. I get up there though. I still get up there, but yeah. So what did I do in those moments was I told myself that because I'm afraid, there's a reason this fear has a hold on me. You get what I'm saying? There's a reason this fear is popping up because this is something I'm really good at. I'm really good at it. So why am I afraid? Like, what? And I'm telling myself, like, you've done this before. Come on, girl, do this. We do this. I do this. Like, and what was I really afraid was going to happen? Was I afraid that I was going to let somebody down? No. I was more afraid of embarrassing myself or something, I guess. I don't know. I was more afraid of me. Like, oh, I might actually be good and they might actually like me. I might actually have to do this again. Like, I think I'm more afraid of success than I am of failure in certain situations. Anywho, we're going to keep going. So, failure hurts more today because we live in a comparison culture. We see highlight reels. We don't see the failed drafts, the rejected applications from people. We don't see people crying in their parking lots, restarting from ground zero. Like, social media has created the illusion that successful people move in straight lines. But growth is messy, okay? Like, here's something really powerful you guys should think about, okay? Failure feels permanent when you believe success is supposed to be immediate. But mastery has always required discomfort. Every confident person you admire has a private history of embarrassment. And I like that. I like that whole point of things, because when I decided I wanted better for my life, there was a quote that was told to me by one of my counselors at a program I was in once. And it's change is a process, not an event. And I think that was something that stuck with me, because I knew that in order for me to change, I was going to have to be in a perpetual state of discomfort. Because while you're comfortable, you become complacent. And if you're complacent, you're not going out of your way to get out of the situation that you're in to better your life. So I want to ask you guys, what dream have you delayed because you're waiting for you to feel ready? Can you tell me that? What dream have you delayed because you're waiting to feel ready? Right. Right. Well, now let that question sit, okay? Because readiness isn't often just fear wearing a polite disguise, okay? I'm going to say it like this. If I would have gone to wait until I had everything I needed to start my business, to start my podcast, to go after any of my dreams, I don't think I ever would have done it, to be 100% honest with you. I would have continued to have every excuse for why. Oh, well, who's going to listen to me? Oh, who's going to do this? I don't think anybody really cares, stuff like that. Like, I'd have had every excuse for why not to do it. And it would have all been tied to, well, I don't have enough money yet. I don't have this equipment. I don't have that. I don't have that. One day I just got tired of it. I'm like, I'm just going to start. I'm just going to start it. Because you have to start somewhere. Like, and at times things are hard. And everything doesn't go perfectly. It's hard to keep up with the schedule. It's hard to schedule with guests and keep up with everybody else's agenda. The people don't show up. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many times I had scheduled people to come onto my podcast as guests, and they just didn't show up for me. Like, what am I supposed to do? Things happen, but I had to show up that day anyways. I still had to talk to the standing 5 people who are still here with me, like, every time I go live. So I still had to show up. I still had to do what I had to do regardless. And that's why I chose this topic. That's why I chose let's fail forward. Like, because it's more than just, oh, I'm afraid of failure. It's like, no, you can be afraid, but you have to do it anyways. If you believe it, if it's a dream you want to achieve, you have to just get up and do it. It's going to suck sometimes. There's going to be times when you show up all by yourself and nobody else is there. There's going to be times where you're working late nights and you can't understand why nobody is ever there to help you. But it's your dream. It's something you want. Do it. Do it. I'm going to keep showing up and doing my podcast, whether I have 1 viewer or 0. It's fine. And when I get to a point when there's I don't know what, 12K up there or something, I'm gonna be just as happy as I am now, because this is something that I believe in. This is a platform, a space for me to express how I feel and what I believe, and to show other people that they're not alone. We're gonna talk about some more of this. Like, we're gonna go into a little bit more depth with this topic as well. So, like, fear the fear of failure usually isn't just one fear. It's like a trio of things. It's the fear of judgment. So, what will people think of me? Type of things. Humans are wired for belonging, so judgment feels like social exile. But most people are too busy worrying about themselves to study your mistakes, believe it or not. The truth is, people forget your failures faster than you do. The second thing is the fear of wasted effort. So what if I try this and it's all for nothing, right? But nothing teaches faster than effort. Even successful attempts build skill, resilience, and clarity. So no effort is wasted. It's only redirected, if you really think about it. So once again, the fear of wasted effort, there is no such thing as that. As long as you're trying, you're succeeding. Like you got this giant fear of failure for no reason, because you learn something by doing that. And then the third thing is the fear of self-discovery. So this one is a little deep, okay? Not even a little deep, it's really deep. So sometimes we fear failure because success would require becoming someone unfamiliar. Growth means losing old comfort zones, and unfamiliar versions of ourselves can feel scary. Now, this is just what I was speaking about earlier in my previous example. There comes a place in your life where you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I try not to get real emotional when I'm having this conversation, but I realize that is one of the biggest things that help motivate and push me to becoming the person that I'm becoming today. It was being okay with being uncomfortable. Like, a lot of people don't like it. I get it. Yeah, I rather just stay in my own little bubble and mind my business. But I also know that I'm not going to achieve any of my goals staying in that bubble. I'm not. I'm the type of person that needs to be outside. I need to be seen. I need people to know what's going on. And for the line of work that I want to go into, for my dreams to be achieved, I'm going to have to be around people. My dreams involve helping other people. So, like, I can't just sit in the house. I got to be okay with being uncomfortable. I got to be okay with getting out in front of people and talking to them about the things that I had to go through in order for me to become where I am, to get to where I am today. So at some point, you have to begin to reframe failure in your mind in general. So let's change the definition of failure now. Okay, so failure is not proof you shouldn't try. Failure is feedback, okay? That's how we're going to look at it from now on. Every attempt answers one question, okay? What works and what doesn't? Imagine learning to walk and quitting after falling twice, right? That's what adults do with their dreams every single day. So you got to think of it this is a data mind frame, okay? Like, you got to change your mindset. You have to really incorporate this in your everyday life as well. So instead of asking yourself, did I fail? Ask yourself, what data did I gain? What did I learn from this? Okay? So, like, didn't get the job. Okay, so maybe I should improve my interview skills. All right, podcast didn't grow. Maybe I should adjust my audience strategy. You know, relationship ended. Maybe I should learn my communication patterns and see what I can adjust so that I can become better with them. Failure becomes information instead of your identity. And if you look at it that way, you can truly learn, you can grow, and you can become a better person. But this is the uncomfortable part of this conversation, because people don't like talking about that. So for me, I can genuinely talk from each aspect of this. Okay. So I am, believe it or not, a person who has a criminal background. I have a hard time speaking on it when I am in job interviewing situations. When I'm interviewing for a job, I hate having to talk about it because a lot of people look at it in black and white. They don't look at it for the person that I am or the things that I've overcome. And there are some people in our life who's lived every single day of their life and never committed a crime and never did anything wrong. And they just think, well, if I could stay away from it, then you should be able to. Well, no, you don't know the circumstances of my life, and you don't know why I was doing the things that I was doing or what led me down those paths. But not everybody wants to know a story, so things go on. But for me, I have a very hard time speaking on it. Because it's kind of like putting me in a situation where I have to fight against the person that I used to be. And I don't like having to do that. It's ghetto to me. But I've learned how to overcome those situations, going forward. As well as like if my podcast doesn't grow. If I'm not accumulating the followers that I need, and I adjust my strategies, I adjust my posts, I focus on my times and stuff like that. But overall, I stay focused on what the true point and what the real matter of what I'm doing is. But each time I do another episode, I learn something more, and I feel like as long as I'm learning something, that means that I'm moving in the right direction. I'm failing forward in all the right ways, So yeah, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fall down 1,000 times before I get this all the way right. But as long as I keep getting up and I keep going after my goals, that's what really counts. Okay? Now, how to move forward while you're afraid is something that a lot of people don't like talking about either. But here we are. I'm the girl. We're going to talk about it. So, fear rarely disappears before an action. Confidence is built after movement. So here are the practical steps that you need to take so that you can fail forward as well. First of all, shrink the risk, okay? Don't start with perfection. Start small. 1 episode, 1 application, 1 conversation. Progress slower. Progress lowers. I keep saying the word wrong. Progress lowers fear. So if you just do 1 or 2, just to see, put it out to, just to get your feelers out there, it helps. When you're actually when you see the feedback. Like for me, it's like posting a TikTok, a 7-second TikTok. And today this one gets 500 views. Okay, I got out of the 200 to 300 jail. I did something today. I'm happy. I'll post 45 of them. And I don't care how many TikToks I post. Y'all gonna see me up and down y'all FYP. On everything. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It's going everywhere. Yeah. Anywho, that's how it is. But it's just that little bit of progression, that little bit of progress will help motivate you to want to continue to go forward. Separate your worth from the outcome because it's your effort deserves the respect even when the results are slow. So I need you to acknowledge that you did try, that you are trying, and it's that you are not what your results are. So separate you from what you're doing as well. And sometimes it's easier said than done, but it's a big thing that you should be doing. Also, normalize beginner energy. Okay. Normalize it. Beginners look awkward. Okay. That's not a failure. Okay. That's learning, visible in real time. Okay. So for me, when I first started doing my podcast, I didn't look the naturalist while I was talking. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to say. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to ask. I wasn't exactly sure if I was going to read a script, if I was just going to talk out loud. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do it, and I'm going to just keep doing it. And y'all going to listen to me or y'all not. I don't care. That's what we're doing. So, boom, baby, that's how we got. And you know what? I'm okay. I don't care what people think. My face is pretty and I know how to talk. So, either you're going to listen to me or you're not. Periods. Okay? So, I want anybody who's listening or watching this back, all right, write this down. One thing I've been avoiding because I'm scared of failing. And then I want you to challenge yourself to do a small action that will help you with that thing that you're afraid of within the next 24 hours. That's what I want you guys to do. And then I want you to come back and tell me how it works out, okay? And and believe it, you I'm telling you, just it takes 1 second to change your entire mind frame, to change the progress, the progression of your life. Like, it literally takes 1 second. Like, if you're a person that hits snooze every morning at 5 o'clock when your alarm is set and you know you have it set for 5, just get up at 5 o'clock, babe, the first time the alarm goes off. Don't snooze it the first time. That the very second you decide to not hit snooze and you get up, you've already put yourself in a different atmosphere than you were in the day before. And then just get up and discipline yourself and do it again. You know? The truth about courage is not fearlessness, okay? Courage is movement while fear speaks loudly. So it's doing it anyways. It's the people you admire didn't silence their fears. They stopped letting it make decisions for them. Fear says, wait until you're ready. Growth says, ready happens after you begin. You know? So ultimately, it's about getting up and doing it anyways, no matter what the situation may be, no matter what people are saying to you. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be how you want it to be, but you do it anyways. And that was one of the best things that I figured out. So for me, I've done a lot of things in my life lately that had me facing fears, okay? I failed forward fast, in a hurry, and on my face. Baby, I'm telling you. But I did it anyways. Like, I faced my fear of planes this year. I got on 2 of them in one day, okay? Terrified, in the sky, by myself, at the airport, by myself. But I did it. Yup. So now I can't say I've never been on a plane no more. I fell in love, and then I learned that I still had I'm still capable of loving, loudly and proudly and openly. And that was an amazing experience all in its own as well. I also relived what heartbreak was for the first time. I fell forward so hard. And it's only the beginning of 2026, people. Jesus, what is going on here? God, what are you trying to teach me? Anywho, I've absolutely experienced a lot in the first 2 months of the year, y'all. And failing forward is definitely one of the biggest things on my list. I've also made some poor decisions. That'll be our next topic. We'll be back in like 30 minutes to talk about that one. But maybe a little longer. But there's definitely some things that I'm proud of and not so proud of that's happened this year. But I am grateful that I did it anyways. So if you take nothing else from today, remember this, that failure doesn't close your story, okay? Avoidance does. Every time you try, you rewrite your relationship with fear, and maybe the goal isn't to avoid failing. Maybe the goal is to become someone who knows that you can stand back up. So this week, don't aim to be fearless, okay? Aim to be brave enough to begin. And I'll talk to you next time. All right. So ultimately, you guys, that's what this is about. Get up and do it anyways. All right. Just get up and do it. Face your fears and keep moving forward. Ultimately, you can make fear your teacher instead of your prison guard. You feel me? Y'all got what I was saying. I know y'all heard what I was saying this whole time. Anywho, that's what it is. Anyways, I enjoyed speaking with you guys on this topic. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, feel free to share, like, subscribe, follow, all those good things. And make sure you got, your notification bells on you people, because I always got something to say. Anywho, thank you. Love you guys. Bye. Check you out. I'll be back. I'll be back to talk to y'all in a little bit. I promise y'all, I'll be right back. Peace.